I have heard of this girl with the magic voice, he announces, a mocking smile on his lips. But let us see if she is truly as special as they say. In the vibrant village of Abaji, laughter and drum beats echo through the air. The villagers go about their daily lives, bartering in the market, tending to their fields, and gathering by the river to share stories as the sun dips low. Among them is a quiet girl named Akua, who spends most of her time helping her mother and singing to herself. Akua's voice is her secret. It flows like the river, smooth and pure, but she keeps it hidden, thinking it's just an ordinary sound. She sings while fetching water as she walks through the tall grasses, and especially in her room at night when no one is around to hear. Her voice is her comfort, a private joy she doesn't think is worth sharing with the world. One evening, as she helps her mother, Mama Essie, prepare dinner, she hums a tune, her voice drifting through their small house. Mama Essie pauses, captivated by the melody, and steps closer, listening in silence. When Akua notices her, she stops abruptly, blushing as she sets down the pot she's carrying. "Akua, my child," Mama Essie says gently, her eyes shining with pride. "Why do you hide such a beautiful voice?" Akua shrugs, looking down at her feet. "It's just a voice, Mama." "Nothing special," she replies, trying to brush off the compliment. But Mama Essie places a hand on her daughter's shoulder, looking into her eyes. "The Creator gives each of us gifts, Akua. Yours is meant to be shared, not hidden away like a treasure buried in the sand. Promise me, one day, you will let others hear it." Akua nods, though uncertainty fills her heart. That night, as she lies on her mat, she stares at the thatched roof, thinking about her mother's words. Could her voice really be more than she thought? Could it be something special? But fear holds her back. What if people don't see what Mama Essie sees? Sefu, Akua's best friend, is always full of laughter and energy. He knows about Akua's voice, having heard her sing when they were younger. On the morning of his birthday, Sefu finds Akua by the river, where she is washing clothes. He rushes to her, a mischievous grin on his face. "Akua, I have a request," he says, sitting beside her on the rocks. Akua raises an eyebrow, wary of the excitement in his voice. "What is it, Sefu?" He clasps his hands together, feigning a desperate look. "Please, sing at my party tonight. Just one song. You can't refuse me on my birthday." Akua's heart skips a beat. "Sefu, I can't. What if they laugh? What if they think I'm just trying to show off?" Sefu shakes his head, his expression serious. "Akua, your voice can move hearts. Trust me, no one will laugh. They'll love it." He places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Please, do this for me. I know you can." Reluctantly, Akua agrees, but as evening approaches, she feels her nerves take over. When she arrives at the village square, where Sefu's party is in full swing, she sees the villagers gathered, their faces bright with smiles. Sefu calls for everyone's attention and gestures for Akua to come forward. With trembling hands, she steps up, closing her eyes as she begins to sing. Her voice is quiet at first, but as she loses herself in the melody, it grows stronger, filling the air with a warmth that seems to reach out and touch each listener. The villagers fall silent, enchanted by the sound. When she finishes, there's a brief moment of silence before the crowd erupts into applause. Tears shine in some of their eyes, and Sefu beams with pride. Akua, overwhelmed by their response, feels a small flicker of hope ignite in her heart. Maybe, just maybe, her voice is more than she thought. After Sefu's party, rumours spread throughout Abaji about Akua's voice. People speak of how her singing made them feel lighter, how it seemed to lift the weight from their hearts. Akua brushes off the praise, thinking it's all just friendly exaggeration. But one afternoon, she finds herself face to face with an unexpected challenge. She's walking through the village square when she notices old Cato, the village storyteller, sitting alone on a bench. Cato has always been full of laughter and wisdom, but since the passing of his wife, he has become a shadow of his former self. He sits hunched over, his eyes staring into the distance. Akua hesitates, but then she remembers her mother's words and takes a deep breath. She sits down beside Cato and begins to sing, letting her voice flow gently through the air. She chooses a melody her mother used to sing, one that speaks of healing and hope. Cato listens in silence, his expression softening with each note. His hands, which have been clenched in his lap, slowly relax. When Akua finishes, he turns to her, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Akua," he says, his voice rough with emotion. "Your song, it's like a soothing balm. I have not felt such peace since my wife's passing. Thank you." Akua feels a surge of warmth in her chest, her heart racing with a mix of joy and wonder. Could her voice really have such an effect? She had never imagined it could mean so much to someone else. As she walks home, Cato's words echo in her mind, filling her with a sense of purpose she never knew she had. As more people hear about Akua's singing, they begin to come to her, asking if she will sing for their loved ones who are struggling. A mother with a sick child, an elder with a broken spirit, a young woman grieving a lost sibling, they all seek her out, hoping her voice can bring them some comfort. Akua feels a mix of fear and responsibility. She wants to help, but she doesn't know if her voice is truly powerful enough to make a difference. One evening, she sits by the river, singing softly to the water, wondering if she is worthy of the faith people are placing in her. Her thoughts are interrupted by the sound of footsteps behind her. She turns to see a young girl named Nia, clutching a small, worn-out doll. Tears streak down Nia's face, her small body trembling with grief. "Akua," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "Mama says your voice can make people feel better. Can you sing for me? I miss my papa." Akua's heart aches at the sight of the child's pain. She kneels down beside Nia, taking her small hand in hers. "I will sing for you, Nia," she says gently. She begins a lullaby, one her own mother used to sing to her. Her voice rises and falls like a gentle breeze, carrying a message of hope and love. As Akua sings, Nia's sobs slowly quiet, and a small, tired smile spreads across her face. She leans into Akua's arms, finding comfort in the melody. When Akua finishes, Nia looks up at her with wide, grateful eyes. "Thank you, Akua," she whispers. "I feel a little better now." Akua holds Nia close, feeling a sense of wonder and gratitude. She realizes that her voice might truly be a gift, something that can bring light to those who are lost in darkness. For the first time, she begins to believe that maybe, just maybe, she has a purpose beyond what she ever imagined. One evening, as Akua finishes singing for a small gathering in the village square, an elder named Babajomo approaches her. His face is weathered, his eyes sharp with wisdom, and his presence commands respect. Akua feels a shiver run down her spine as he steps closer. "Akua," Babajomo says, his voice deep and steady. "I see you have a rare gift, but beware, child. A voice that can heal can also wound. Use your gift with care, for the power within it is greater than you know." Akua's brow furrows with confusion and fear. "But, Babajomo, I would never use my voice to hurt anyone," she protests. Babajomo nods slowly, but his gaze remains serious. "You may not intend to, but power can be a double-edged sword. Let your heart guide you, for if your heart becomes clouded with pride or anger, your voice could become a weapon instead of a blessing." Akua swallows hard, the weight of his words pressing down on her. She had never thought of her voice in such a way. "I will remember your warning, Babajomo," she promises, her voice trembling with sincerity. He places a hand on her shoulder, his expression softening. I believe you will, Akua. You have a kind heart. But remember, gifts like yours come with great responsibility. Use it wisely. As Baba Jomo walks away, Akua feels a mixture of fear and determination. She knows now that her voice isn't just a talent, it's a gift that could change lives. But with this realization comes a deep sense of responsibility, and she wonders if she is truly ready to bear it. News of Akua's voice continues to spread, drawing admiration and curiosity from the neighbouring villages. But among those who hear of her is a man named Omari, known for his booming voice and pride. Omari is a singer himself, and the thought of a young girl outshining him stirs a bitterness in his heart. One day, Omari arrives in Abaji, making his presence known with a loud, commanding voice that echoes through the village square. I have heard of this girl with the magic voice, he announces, a mocking smile on his lips. But let us see if she is truly as special as they say. Akua, hearing the challenge, feels her heart race with fear. The villagers gather around, murmuring with excitement and curiosity. Omari smirks as he steps forward, his gaze fixed on Akua. Let us have a contest, he declares. Let the people decide whose voice truly holds power. Seifu stands by Akua's side, his hand on her shoulder. You don't have to do this, Akua, he whispers. But Akua knows that turning away would only fuel Omari's pride. She nods, taking a deep breath as she faces her challenger. Omari begins, his voice powerful and bold, filling the square with a melody that demands attention. The villagers watch, their expressions tense, as Omari's voice rises and falls in dramatic swells. When he finishes, he gives Akua a smug look, crossing his arms. With a pounding heart, Akua steps forward. She closes her eyes, letting go of her fear as she begins to sing. Her voice is soft at first, like a gentle breeze, but it grows, filling the air with a warmth that reaches out to each listener. Her song is not about power, it is about connection, about love and healing. By the time she finishes, Omari's smirk has faded, replaced by a look of awe. The villagers are silent, their faces softened with emotion. One by one, they begin to clap, their applause growing into a wave of support. Omari lowers his head, humbled, and leaves the square without a word. Akua feels a mixture of relief and pride, but she knows this victory is not about winning. It is about staying true to her heart, about using her gift with humility and love. As the days pass, more people come to Abaji, hoping to hear Akua's voice. Some travel for days, bringing stories of their struggles and sorrows, asking for her help. Each request weighs on Akua's heart, and though she wants to help everyone, the emotional toll begins to drain her. One evening, exhausted, she sits by the river, her hands trembling as she gazes at her reflection in the water. She feels as if she's being pulled in 1,000 directions, her heart heavy with the needs of others. She wonders if she can keep going, if her gift is truly meant to be used in this way. Seifu finds her there, his face filled with concern. He sits beside her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. Akua, you don't have to carry this burden alone, he says softly. You're only human. It's okay to rest, to take care of yourself. Akua leans into his shoulder, her eyes filled with tears. But what if I let people down, Seifu? What if I'm not enough? Seifu wraps an arm around her, holding her close. You are more than enough, Akua. Your voice is a gift, but it's also part of you. Remember to protect your own heart. You don't have to save everyone. Akua nods, feeling the weight lift slightly as she takes in his words. She realizes that while her gift is precious, she must also care for herself. She decides to sing only when her heart is ready, to give freely but wisely. With a renewed sense of balance, Akua decides to embrace her gift on her own terms. She begins singing every evening in the village square, creating a space where everyone can come together to find peace and connection. Her songs become a ritual, a time when the villagers gather to share in a moment of unity. As Akua sings, she watches the villagers' faces, each one softened by the melody. Parents sit with their children, elders lean forward with closed eyes, and young couples hold hands, finding comfort in her voice. Akua feels a deep satisfaction, knowing she is fulfilling her purpose without feeling overwhelmed. One evening, after she finishes a song, an elder approaches her, his eyes glistening with tears. "Akua, you have given us a gift that goes beyond words. Your voice has brought us closer, has reminded us of what it means to be a community." Akua smiles, her heart full. She realizes that her gift isn't just about healing. It's about bringing people together, about creating a space where they can feel loved and understood. She feels a profound sense of purpose, knowing her voice is not just her own, but belongs to everyone. Just as Akua finds her footing, a stranger arrives in Abaji. His name is Tumelo, a tall man with an air of confidence that immediately captivates the villagers. Tumelo is a singer from a distant village, and he has heard of the girl with the healing voice. Curious, he decides to see her gift for himself. The villagers welcome Tumelo, eager to hear his voice, which is known for its strength and beauty. Akua feels a strange unease as she watches Tumelo perform in the square, his voice powerful and commanding. She wonders if her own voice could ever match his, if her quiet songs could hold the same impact. After his performance, Tumelo approaches Akua, his gaze intense. "You have quite a reputation, Akua," he says, a slight challenge in his tone. "I have travelled far to hear you sing. Shall we sing together and let the people decide whose voice truly touches their hearts?" Akua feels her heart race with doubt, but the villagers encourage her, their faces filled with excitement. She agrees, her hands trembling as she stands beside Tumelo, their voices blending in a duet. As they sing, Akua realizes that her voice is different, softer and more intimate, while Tumelo's is strong and bold. But when the song ends, the villagers turn to her, their expressions filled with gratitude. Tumelo smiles, nodding with respect. "You have a gift, Akua," he says, his voice gentle. "It's not about strength or volume. It's about the heart, and your heart is strong." Akua feels a sense of peace, understanding that her gift is unique, meant to connect with others in a way that goes beyond comparison. In the weeks that follow, Akua's voice continues to draw people from neighbouring villages. Word spreads of the girl with the voice that heals. And each evening, more villagers gather to listen, seeking comfort, joy, or simply a moment of peace. At first, Akua is filled with gratitude, but soon, doubt begins to creep into her heart. One evening, as she prepares to sing, she notices Tumelo standing in the crowd, watching her with a thoughtful expression. His presence brings back memories of their duet, of his bold, powerful voice that seemed to echo across the square. Akua's voice, in comparison, feels small, fragile. She wonders if her gift is truly as special as people say, or if they're only drawn to the idea of magic, not the music itself. As Akua begins to sing, her doubts weigh heavily on her heart, and her voice falters, trembling as she struggles to focus. A subtle shift spreads through the crowd. The usual sense of warmth and unity feels distant. People exchange glances, their expressions tinged with concern. Akua finishes her song, but instead of applause, there is a quiet murmur, a sense of unease. Afterward, Sefu approaches her, his face filled with worry. "Akua, are you all right?" he asks softly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You seemed distracted." Akua forces a smile, but her heart feels heavy. I'm fine, Sifu. I'm not sure if my voice is truly enough. There are so many who need more than I can give. Seifu's brow furrows and he squeezes her shoulder. Your voice has already done so much, Akua. You don't have to carry the weight of everyone's pain alone. We're here with you and we believe in you. But despite his comforting words, the doubt lingers. That night, Akua lies awake, staring at the stars through the gaps in the thatched roof, wondering if her gift is truly strong enough to make a difference, or if she is simply giving people a fleeting sense of comfort in a world full of hardship. The weight of her self-doubt presses down on her, clouding the love and hope that once guided her songs. The next evening, Akua returns to the village square, her heart still heavy with uncertainty. She feels as though a storm rages within her, clouding the clarity and peace she once felt. But as she gazes at the familiar faces in the crowd, children clutching their mothers' hands, elders smiling gently, friends whispering excitedly, she realizes something important. These people are not here because they expect magic. They are here because they feel connected, because they want to share in something that transcends words. Taking a deep breath, Akua begins to sing, letting go of her need to be perfect. She allows herself to be vulnerable, pouring all of her heart into the song, letting it flow freely. Her voice rises, unguarded and raw, and in that moment, she feels a deep sense of peace, as though a heavy weight has been lifted. As she sings, she notices the change in the crowd. People close their eyes, their faces softening, and some reach out to hold each other's hands. There are no grand expectations or demands, only a shared moment, a sense of unity. Akua realizes that her gift is not about strength or perfection. It is about connection, about sharing her heart without fear. When the song ends, an elder steps forward, his eyes misty with tears. Akua, he says, his voice filled with gratitude. Your voice reminds us of something precious. It's not just a sound. It's a bridge that connects us all. You give us hope, not by being perfect, but by being yourself. Akua feels a deep warmth spread through her chest, and she nods, understanding his words in a way she hadn't before. Her gift was never about creating miracles. It was about sharing her heart, her truth, and allowing others to feel seen and loved. In that moment, she knows that her voice, exactly as it is, has always been enough. From that night forward, Akua embraces her voice in a new way. Each evening, she stands in the village square, her heart open, her spirit free, ready to share her gift with those who gather. People from Abaji and beyond come, not just for healing or comfort, but to experience the sense of connection her songs bring. A unity that feels like a warm embrace, a reminder of the love that binds them all. As her voice rises each evening, filling the air with melodies of hope and love, Akua feels more deeply connected to the people around her. She no longer worries about being perfect or powerful. Instead, she lets her songs be a reflection of her heart, a gift given freely without expectation. Her voice is simply a part of her, something she's been blessed with, something she has finally learned to share without fear. One evening, as the villagers gather as usual, a little boy, no older than 6, steps forward shyly. In his hands, he holds a small bouquet of wildflowers, a gift he offers to Akua with wide, innocent eyes. "Thank you, Akua," he whispers, his cheeks flushed. "Your songs make me feel safe, like everything will be okay." Akua kneels down, accepting the flowers with a smile as warm as the setting sun. She glances up, noticing the soft smiles and teary eyes of the villagers gathered around her. In their faces, she sees gratitude, joy, and love, a love that has grown not just because of her voice, but because they have all chosen to be there together, to share in something beautiful and true. Mama Essie approaches her, her eyes filled with pride. Akua, my child, you have brought this village something no one else could. A gift of unity, of hope. Look around. This is the true power of your voice. Akua takes her mother's hand, her heart full of peace. Mama, thank you for helping me see it, she replies softly. Without you, I would have kept my voice hidden forever. Sefu, standing nearby, grins, his eyes shining with pride. And without you, Akua, we would have never known what true beauty sounds like. The villagers begin to clap, their applause gentle but full of love. It's not the loud, expectant applause of admiration. It's the warm, quiet acknowledgement of a gift freely given and gratefully received. Akua closes her eyes, feeling the love radiate around her, knowing her journey has come full circle. As the evening fades and the villagers begin to return to their homes, Akua feels a sense of fulfillment unlike any she has ever known. She no longer feels the weight of expectations or fear of not being enough. She understands that her voice, exactly as it is, has always been enough. In sharing her gift, she has not only helped others, but has also found her true self. Standing in the quiet square, looking up at the stars that dot the sky, she reflects on the journey that has brought her here. She remembers the doubts, the fears, and the moments of hesitation. She remembers Baba Jomo's warning, Tumalo's challenge, and the storm of doubt that had once clouded her heart. And she realizes that every step, every lesson has led her to this moment of clarity and peace. Akua's journey is a reminder to all of us to recognize and embrace our own unique gifts. We all have something special to offer, something that can change the world. So, let's encourage each other, support each other, and celebrate our differences. In doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but create a world filled with unity, love, and understanding. With one last look at her village, Akua smiles, her heart full. She knows she has found her voice, her purpose, and a place where she truly belongs. And with that, she turns, ready to face whatever new melodies life has in store for her. If you enjoyed Akua's journey and the magic of these African tales, consider subscribing to our channel for more stories filled with adventure, wisdom, and unforgettable characters. By subscribing, you'll be joining a community that celebrates unique gifts, diverse cultures, and the timeless power of storytelling. Subscribe and turn on notifications to stay connected and experience a new tale each time you visit. Let's continue exploring, learning, and growing together, one story at a time.